And you earned it. So you're from Christchurch, originally from Christchurch? Where'd you grow up, Claudia?
So I'm not originally from Christchurch. I've been in Christchurch for the last 4 years working as a physiotherapist. Originally I come from Taranaki, is where my family's from, down the neck here. Yeah, that was quite a few of them here that are supporting me, which is awesome. Dairy farming background, classic Taranaki. Actually grew up down the road from Joanna, our Taranaki Rose. We went to primary and high school together. So.
That's the story of New Zealand, isn't it? So tell us about your Irish connections.
Yes, so my Irish connections come from the counties Cork, Tipperary and Roscommon. I'm very lucky in the fact that my family have always been really good historians. My Irish heritage comes from my mother's side. My grandfather, Daniel Fitzgerald, he was born in New Zealand, second generation, so I guess it goes to show the great Irish community in Taranaki as well, is that even though he was second generation, he was still fully Irish because of his parents and his grandparents had married other Irish people as well. I'm very lucky in the fact that I've grown up with the Rose of Tralee. It's always been a big part of my life and my family. My grandfather passed away when my mother was younger, so a lot of the history and stories was lost with that as well. But we were very lucky that my Nana Doreen, she was really passionate about culture, and even though she wasn't Irish herself, she was really keen to learn more about our Irish heritage so that she could pass it on to her children as well. And our grandfather, he had done a bit of research himself when my auntie had entered the Rose of Tralee 8 years before my mum, and so we had a wee bit of information there, and my Nana just built on that from what he had already found. And then when it came to my mum entering the Rose of Tralee, they had some great information, and then when she won the New Zealand final back in '84, she got to go over to Ireland and meet all of our relatives, and they had a great success story. Actually, she was at one of the events down the races, and they had seen her on TV, Louise Fitzgerald from Kahaponga, and realised that they were related, and they came down and introduced each other, and actually got to catch up after the festival, and they gave them a tour around where they were from.
Fantastic. That's the reach, isn't it? The Irish. So to be a sports physio, what sort of qualifications or training is required in that?
Yes, so I studied in Dunedin. I did a 4-year bachelor's in physiotherapy. 3 years was, the first year was health science, so that's what doctors and pharmacists do as well. So it's a year long, and it's quite a competitive year, and at the end of the year you choose what you'd like to get into. So I applied for physiotherapy, and they let me in. And so I studied for 2 more years down in Dunedin, and then I did my placement year in Palmerston North. So we do a variety of work in the hospital and in private practice, so they give us a really good introductory to all types of different physio, and then from there you can kind of choose where you want to specialise in after that.
So where have you finished up? Are you private practice or DHBs or what?
Yep, so I'm in private practice. I work for a company called Southern Rehab, which we've just recently merged with the company that Jolene works for. She works for Habit. It's now a New Zealand-wide company, and lucky enough I get to work with actually quite a broad range of conditions. So primarily musculoskeletal, so I work with a lot of sports teams and sport injuries. So if you're classic playing netball and you sprain your ankle, I'll see those patients. But also I do a lot of return to work programs as well. So if you've had a shoulder surgery and you need rehabilitation to get back to your job, then those patients will come see me as well. I also work alongside the concussion contract, which is something that just become really big in New Zealand recently, and it's great that we can support those type of patients as well.
So are you hands-on? You're a hands-on physio?
Yes, so I do a mixture of hands-on and gym-based rehab, so it depends on what the patient needs. So if it is something like massage or joint mobilisations, I will do that. But also a lot of the evidence is moving towards gym-based rehab, so a lot of it is actually education and exercise, including stretches and strengthening.
Very good. What's your best day on the job feel like?
Every day.
What is that best day? What's the great thing?
Every day is a great day working at Southern Rehab. I love my job. I'm really passionate about what I do. But if I had to choose a great day, I think I would choose when I'm working with one of the sports teams, usually on a Saturday. So I've done a lot of work with Canterbury Touch, and they're a lot of fun. So they have tournaments every year, and I get to work. I'm usually in the tent set up with a couple of plinths, and they'll be playing games on games. So they'll have sometimes 5 games a day, and they'll just come in and they've hurt themselves and like, I've got another game in 20 minutes. Please help me. And
Fix me.
Basically, they're always after the quick fix. So I really like that because it's really challenging in the fact that you're doing a lot of quick diagnosis and quick treatment to try and get them back on the field as soon as possible.
And when you're not doing that, what's your pursuits and interests?
Yes, so I love all things active. I love to run, I love to do yoga, I love going to the gym, I love doing hikes. We're quite lucky in Christchurch, we have the Port Hills, so I love going for walks or runs up there and seeing the beautiful views. One of the nice tracks is Rapaki, where actually when you get to the top you can see all of Christchurch from up there, but on the other side you can also see into Littleton Harbour as well. I also love to cook and I love to bake. I'm particularly interested in healthy eating. I'm a huge advocate for that in my work, but also in my personal life as well. So I like to cook healthy recipes, particularly raw slices. Nadia Lim and Julie and Libya, some of the idols that have inspired me, and I cook a lot of their meals as well.
So Dancing with the Stars next, is it?
Nadia Lim, she's been fantastic on there. She's actually fundraising for a great charity on there. I don't know if anybody's been watching that, but she's fundraising for Garden to Table, which is supports a lot of Nadia's morals and values as well. So it's a charity that basically educates primary school age children. They have a program set up where they teach them how to grow vegetables and then and how to look after them, and then to create healthy and nutritious meals with those vegetables, which is absolutely awesome.
Very good. This changed. Very good. Give a round of applause. Come on. If you look at the diaspora here, and many of us come on a boat, and 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation of this country, why is it that so many Irish have come to New Zealand? What's brought them? What's sent them? Why have we come here?
We were actually discussing that earlier in the week. I think it was really brave of all of our ancestors to come here, because back then they didn't have the internet, they didn't have phones, they didn't know what New Zealand was like. They just had word of mouth of that there was this great country and there was opportunity to work. And I just couldn't imagine what they must have been going through to come to a country not actually really knowing a lot about what it was going to be like. And I guess the ones that did come over here must have passed back some good words, and that's why everyone else ended up back here, that they could be here, work hard, and the people were hospitable, and so I guess just that word of mouth has brought them back.
Very good. Very good. So, cycling back to an earlier theme, it's just how they were allocated. Who do you think is going to be the winners and the losers in this whole Brexit muddle, the way it's going?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about Brexit over this weekend, and I think it's such a big topic, and looking at it, seeing it come to the news, it's quite a lot to get your head around. And I think the most common thing that we talk about this weekend is actually the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And I think it will be interesting to see what happens there, because obviously at the moment there's a lot of free trade, and it's even though they are separate, there's still that harmony there where they can trade a lot more freely. And I think putting up a wall or a barrier, it will separate them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But obviously we're hoping for the outcome that creates the most peace.
Yeah, very good. Now, the Rose of Tralee is an iconic event.
It is.
But a lot of people that aren't Irish say, but isn't that a beauty pageant? What is it? Is it a beauty pageant? What is it?
Yeah, I guess it's interesting that you say that, because I have a lot of friends that don't
have... We've obviously got a best crowd here, haven't we? Yes, very good. So, final question for you, our final Rose of the night. If you were to represent us in Tralee, what would that mean for you?
Winning the New Zealand Rose of Tralee would be an absolute honour to me. For me, it would mean that I'd be able to follow my mother's legacy. We've always looked at, she's got this beautiful portrait in her house from the night when she won the New Zealand Rose of Tralee, and you know, us girls looking at it, we've always just been like, wow, because not that she's so stunning, but she just had, you know, such an amazing time, and she still talks about all the amazing memories that she had over in Ireland, and she still keeps in contact with a few of the roses that she met over there, and it sounds absolutely amazing, and I'll be so honoured to be able to follow in her footsteps and be able to make similar memories like she did.
Ladies and gentlemen, Claudia.